Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, Automation Nation. I'm a little bit under the weather today, but the show must go on. This is something I hold near and dear to my heart, and I want to make sure that I'm being as consistent with this as possible, and I'm showing up for you guys um all the time, or as much as I possibly can. But like I said, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I would like to welcome you all to our second showing of Automation Nation. All right. All right, so before we get started, I want you guys to make sure that you are registering for your free Ember account at www.embersystem.com. This is the system that I created that we are using during this training. If you guys tuned in for the last video, you can see there's some really good stuff in there. We're going to touch on some more stuff in here today, but we'll also have training to show how to use these things and when it's applicable to your business as well. All right. So, like I mentioned before, I'm a little bit under the weather, so bear with me. But here's a crazy thing: I grab a glass of orange juice here, which is rich in vitamin C and so forth and so on, right? And here's what made me think of this training today. I thought to myself, I said, I never drink apple juice at any other time, but as soon as orange juice any other time. But the first thing I do when I get sick is I grab a glass of orange juice. Why do I keep saying apple juice? I'm not sure. But anyway, I get sick and I grab orange juice. Well, the thing is orange juice has vitamin C, which is it's proactive to getting sick. If the vitamin is to boost your immune system, well, I'm already sick. The sickness is already infiltrated. So this orange juice is probably really not doing anything. And that's why I wanted to have this episode today to talk about systems and how we need to be proactive to reactions. All right. And what I mean by that is we don't typically create systems until after something's broken, or we're not thinking about what those systems are to be doing in our business. When you're creating the system, it's because everything in business is being reactive to something that happens. A business is event driven, and your system should also be event driven. All right. So if you have a POS system, which is point of sale system, that system doesn't come into action and doesn't mean anything until someone comes to make a purchase, until a consumer makes a purchase, and then bam, the POS system comes into play, and that's when things start happening. Systems do nothing unless an event triggers for them to happen. And that's the same way that things work in Ember. And that's why I say that we have to create systems to be proactive to reactions. The POS system, or the point of sale system, starts as a reaction to a consumer making a purchase. And all of your business systems are going to be reactive to what a consumer is doing. So you have to sit down and you have to think, how can I be proactive in making these systems that are going to react to events that happen in my business? So that's what I mean. Be proactive to reactions. That's a weird saying. I'm not sure if I made it up. I'm not sure if someone else already thought of it. I'd like to take credit for it, but if that credit is due elsewhere, then it's due elsewhere. But that's what I think of when I think of systems. And that's what I think of when we're running our business. Our system should be event driven. All right. So I don't want to beat that horse too much, but this glass of orange juice made me think of this topic today because I was being reactive instead of proactive. But had I been drinking my fill of orange juice and my vitamin C on a daily basis, then I would have been proactive to this event, if that makes sense. All right, so let us continue. I want to talk about being proactive to reactions, and one of the best systems that you can start with, and one of the best systems that you can build for your business, is the basic IVR system or phone system, interactive voice recording system, which is going to help you to not miss calls. It's going to help you to be more professional. It's going to help you to direct traffic and phone calls that you get. And it is event driven, as we're always talking about, but you want to create that system to where a phone call comes in and you're not getting all the phone calls If that phone call goes to sales, then it gets sent over to sales. If it goes to customer support, then it goes over to customer support. It shouldn't be filtered through a manual person or an operator who is then in charge of transferring those calls elsewhere. That puts too much work on somebody, and especially if you're a solopreneur or you're the sole owner of a business, why should you be taking calls all day when you have different departments that can take those calls, or those calls can get sent elsewhere to be dealt with accordingly? If I'm not making sense, let me know. If I am making sense, give me a thumbs up. Whatever you guys can do, the more support you show, the more that I know that I'm able to help out here and provide more value. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get into today's training, and we're going to talk about the basic phone IVR system in Ember. All right, I'll be right back with that. All right, a little bit of lag there, but I think we're getting it. All right, I think that's it right there. I think we got it. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so first, I want you guys to check something out right here in your system. If you go into your system and you go over to right here, this is my demo account here. So you'll see DA for the initials, whatever your business is that have the initials for it up here. But this is your profile here. You click on here, you go into my account, and it'll bring up this screen. It'll bring up your profile details, and it'll bring up your billing over here. All right. You click on your billing, you can see your current balance in the Ember system. My demo account I set up for 1,000,000 points because I'm going to be using it to be doing a lot of training with you guys. But these points here, they allow you services for your SMS, your phone, anything that involves minutes or time, or you're using over and over. That's what these minutes are for, and that's what this balance is for. I apologize. So I bring this up first because we do need to set up a phone system within Ember in order to use your IVR system. And for that reason, for this video, I'm offering 500 points for anyone that comments below 500 points. So in the comment section, put in 500 points. And if you have an Ember account, I will credit you 500 points to your balance. If you don't have an Ember system yet and you sign up, just comment and I will still do the same thing. I'll still honor that. So that's a way for you to get 500 quick points for your SMS and your phone. And we'll be doing more things like this as we go along. But that's how you can get a quick 500 points right there. Okay. So let's get on with the show here. We are in our basic phone IVR system in Ember. All right. So with this part done right here, let's click here. If you haven't set your phone up yet, this area right here is going to be all grayed out right here. This phone, you can move this guy any way you need to. All right. Because sometimes it gets in the way. So, but and we do listen to the feedback and comments we get. I had a conversation with Jill Gubo and Jessica yesterday. We were working a one-on-one walkthrough here, and I initially had this named as liaison, this over here, and I asked their opinion on it, and they said, "Hey, it looks better as chat. Liaison doesn't really tell you too much of what it does. It didn't jive right at all." So I listened to their feedback, and I ended up changing this back to chat. Same with this phone right here. I got a lot of feedback about how it's always in the way, so I made it to where it's movable anywhere on your screen here. All right, so let's get into it. You click on this phone here and you click to enable it. Then it'll prompt you to buy a phone number. All right, So you can click, you can buy a phone number, and this is where those points come in. Now, no matter if you have a free account all the way up to a small business or agency account, you'll always have points loaded into your system from the start, because I set it up to where everybody has everyone has points in here. So everyone has more than enough points. And if you need more, like I said, comment 500 points below in the comment section. I'll add those points onto there. All right. So first, you pick your country. We're going to stick with the United States here because that's where I am. And we're going to choose the area code. I'm in the 253 area code. You could choose whatever area code that you like, whatever area code that you'll be working mostly in. And then you just click on search. We'll give it a second. Perfect. All right. And see, we keep these prices super low so you guys don't burn through your credits at all. So 99 cents a month for a phone, I mean, you can't beat that anywhere else, right? But these are all the choices that I have from, all in the 253 area code right now. So I'm going to choose this one here, the 253-270-0295. Bam. Now after I pick that one there, oh, let's see. I'm going to choose that one there. Or I'll just choose this one here because I lost what I was looking for. Sorry. All right. And then what name do I want? What caller ID display name do I want? I want it to show up as demo account. So that's what it'll show up on the caller ID whenever I make a call to somebody, an outgoing call. The name of the phone, I'll just keep it as Demo's web phone because we're not using it for anything except for this demo. And the destination, there'll be no destination. All inbound calls will come here unless I want to route it somewhere else, which that's not the case here today. I can add tags onto it, where what I want people to be tagged at as they make calls in. I'm going to leave it for nothing right now. And the owner of the account is the demo account, which we've already established before. Also, I set to record inbound calls. All right. You could change that. You can accept that. You could whatever you want. You could uncheck it or check it. It doesn't matter. But that will be up here in your call log. When calls are recorded, inbound calls, you'll be able to find those recorded calls in your call log. So we click order, and now we ordered our phone number. And we'll just give it a second to do what it does. More people to the group so then they could get more acquainted with Ember System and what we're doing over here. But I appreciate you guys' support. And like I said, I'm going to keep being here, rain, sleet, or snow, sickness, and health. We are going to keep Automation Nation going, and we are going to continue to put out this good content and this great training here, right? So we're still waiting. It could take a little bit of time. All right, congratulations. Your new number will be live in 30 seconds. So it takes 30 seconds for it to get live, but we can start working on our IVR system even without it. So our phone number is up now. This should turn green here in a second when it is done. We are able to change things. You can enable SMS, enable MMS. Your call status is enabled. Now, when you're doing text marketing, you can do here with stop with keyword when you're sending out outgoing marketing text messages. Sorry about that. I got tongue tied there. At the end of the message, they can type stop and it will stop those text messages. Or they can type help and you can have what do you want to happen when you click help? Your help message down here, right? I'm sure you guys seen it with outgoing calls and stuff like that before. Now we have a red up here. It failed to connect to the phone server. Please try again or connect support. I will look at that in a few minutes, but it should fix in a minute. That 30 seconds may have overlapped, but our call status is enabled down here, and that's all that matters. To enable your SMS and your MMS, you have to click on here, and you'll walk through a few steps. You'll get approved from your phone company, and you're good. All right, that takes probably about 5-10 minutes in order to do that. So from here we're going to click the save button because we have no changes that we want to make. All All right, I'm gonna drink my reactive out orange juice while that happens. Okay, and we're good over here. Now, you have extensions as well up here, and let me walk you through that real quick. I won't go through all this because this is all self-explanatory, but every phone number has extensions, so you can add extensions. The default extension for each phone number is going to be 1000. So that is the extension for this account. If you want to add more extensions, you just click on add more extensions. So if you have a sales department, you have a to in order to facilitate your entire business in each department or a staff member that you have. All right, and you'll have a password that you need to make for them. There's a pre-made password, a voicemail password, because they're able to check their voicemail for each extension. The owner of that account, you want it to record calls, record all calls, local, inbound, outbound. It's up to you. You can set all of that stuff up there. You can upload a WAV file for voicemail greeting and so forth and so on, like the typical. If you notice that this extension is 1001, and then it'll go up so forth and so on, or you can actually change it to whatever you want, but I'll keep it as that. I'm not actually going to create the extension now because we don't need it for this demo phone, but I just wanted you all to see how that works there. All right, so now that we have our phone number created, now it's time to go into automations and create that phone IVR system. All right. Okay, so now we're in automations, and now we're going to go up here to the right, and we're going to create a flow. Okay, so now you have your flow workspace up here. It's a nice, huge space, endless. It can go as long as you need it to go or be as short as you need it to be. You could zoom in here. You could zoom out over here. You could check the statuses or center it back here. You could check the status of this automation, change the name, see how many contacts subscribed, the last time it was edited, who it was created by. That's where you get all this information out over here. But here is where we have a trigger, because remember, every event has to be triggered in a system in order to make something happen in your system. So this is the beginning and this is the end of the system or the automation. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go down here to phone. We want to open that up and we want to start an IVR multiple choice, which is going to go right there. All right. So now we go all the way down to the bottom and we want to make just two options for this. Option one, option two. Actually, let's add one more. Let's add one more option. Three options, okay? All right, and what should the caller hear before making the selection? You have text to speech, or you could play no recording or add a new audio file. We're gonna go text to speech. You could press 1 for sales or 2 for support. But I wanted to give a little bit of a more warmer greeting. So I'll put thank you for calling my demo account. Please press 1 for sales or 2 for support. So let's hear what that sounds like.
Thank you for calling my demo account. Please press 1 for sales or 2 for support.
Okay, could you guys hear that? I'm a little worried. I can hear it, but I don't know if you guys can hear it through your TV. So just to make sure you can hear it, let's change the sound settings here. Okay, so let's try this now. Let's see if you can hear it now.
Thank you for calling my demo account. Please press 1 for sales or 2 for support.
Bam. All right, so you could change and automate, and I'm sorry, you could change the text to speech voice. Right now we're using Sally, female, and you could click here and you could scroll down to Joanna, Ivy, Matthew, have an Australian, a British accent, so forth and so on. All right, so we have number of retries. How many attempts will the user get before of entering an invalid selection before it's just going to time them out? All right, and timeout in seconds. How long can the user sit there idle without pressing any buttons before it times them out? I'll leave it to 30 seconds and I'll leave them to 3 retries. Both of these will trigger the timeout right here, the timeout option. All right. So now an invalid audio selection, what do we want it to say? We'll just leave it as invalid selection. Please try again. And let's see how that sounds. It should still be Sally's voice here.
Invalid selection, please try again.
Bam, right there. That sounds great. All right. And now, last but not least, we set up 3 keypad systems, but we shouldn't have. We should have left it at 2 because at the top here we pick 1 for sales and 2 for support. So we don't need a third area here. So we'll just make it 2 key options. So 1 and 2. And now let's save that. And let's see what it does over here. Now we have our IVR multiple choice over here. We have 1 for sales, 2 for customer service, and we have the timeout in the event of the timeout. So let's handle the timeout first. So if the timeout, let's automatically capture a message or a voicemail because we don't want to miss any calls. If it timed out because they took too long to answer or they timed out because they pressed the invalid key too many times, let's not just kick them off. Let's, say something like, you have typed an invalid selection, but we are still interested in helping or in servicing you. Please leave a message after the beep. When you're done recording, please press the pound key or stop talking to save your message. So let's go with that. And then the text to speech, Sally's going to read that to them. So that way, just because they timed out, pressed the wrong selection, or they took too long, they're still giving them a chance to leave a message with us so we don't miss out on a potential client. So bam, now we just collect this to timeout. And then after that, we'll close it. So we'll close it right here. So that finishes the whole timeout portion. Now, these are the things that happen if they take too long to respond or if they press the invalid key 3 times. All right. So now if they press 1 for sales, what do we want to happen? Let's transfer the call. Let's transfer the call, and Sally's going to tell them, please hold while I connect your call now. Or you could change it to please hold as we connect you to a sales agent. All right. Now, when you create extensions, that's where those extensions show up here. So if we had that other extension, 1001, that would be the extension we will put here. All right. Now, you can connect to another number, but you can send it to your phone number, somebody else's phone number. You can send this to another number, but we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to keep it in-house, and we want to send it to a web phone. So we'll send it to our web phone or whatever the sales extension is, which we didn't make one, but if we did, it would have been 1001. All right. So we'll just keep it at that. And then there'll be an instant transfer. You can have a confirmation key needed for them to enter, which would be 2 or 1 or whatever you want. But usually I like to keep it simple and just make an instant transfer. All right. So let's click save. And now that transfer call button should be made here. If one, it's going to transfer to sales. Now, if there's no answered, or if there was a transfer, so if there's no answer, guess what? We're still going to capture another voicemail here because we don't want to miss out on the call. So let's keep the same info here. All right, no answer. Let's capture a voicemail so we don't miss out on that opportunity. And then let's close it. Now, if they do answer, we'll just leave it at that, right? Because they already answered. It's manually taken care of. Now, you can add other automations after the call, after it's answered, it sends out an SMS to the client, whatever you want. But we're just keeping it simple here. And then we do the same thing here for our customer service. It's really simple. If they press the one button, the call is transferred. If there's no answer, they'll leave a voicemail. If it's transferred and they have the conversation, close it out. It's that easy. All right. So I'm not going to bore you guys with walking through this one again, but it's just like this. All right. And you can do this as many times as you want. You can have 9 different departments, but this is very simple, and you would just connect it up here. Bam. Now we need a workflow trigger, right? Because something has to trigger for all of this to happen, right? Guess what it's going to be? It's going to be a phone call. So incoming call. Oh, incoming. Oh, I already filled that out for me. So incoming call, right, is going to trigger it. So please select the incoming call phone number, which is going to be Demo's web phone, because that's the phone we made. And then it's going to start at the default start step because we want it to start right at the top. Now you can choose if you want to start at a different step right there. That's the first step anyway. It can stop there. It can start there. But you want it to start at the first step from the top. All right. So let's add that trigger there. We'll see it populate right up here. Bam, incoming calling right here. So that call comes in, it activates the IVR. If they press 1, it goes to transfer call. If no one answers, then they're prompted to leave a voicemail. After the voicemail, it'll stop the system and it's over. If they press 1, they make the call, then it gets transferred to our sales department. Sales department answers the call, talks with them, and ends it. If they wait too long, of 30 seconds or more, then it'll time out. Or if they press the wrong key 3 times, then it'll time out. It'll capture a voice, prompt to capture a voicemail, and then it will hang up the call. And that right there is creating an IVR system automation. And there's a bunch of different automations you guys can mess with in here, and I will be walking through more and more of them, but they are endless. All right. So I hope you guys got something out of this today, and I hope that you were able to truly learn a little bit more about the system, learn more about automating your business, and learning more about how to implement this into your system. All right. So I do want you guys to remind you guys, you can still register always free for an Ember account at embersystem.com. All right. It's free, no charge. And also, if you want to stack some points on there for your phone system and your SMS services, remember, just comment 500 points below inside of the comments, and I will send you over 500 points for your system. All right. So welcome to Automation Nation, and I'm so happy that you guys joined us for another episode, and I can't wait to see you guys again. And if you have any questions or comments, always feel free to reach out. We're always here 24/7, and just happy to have you guys here. You guys have a good one, and keep automating your business.